Hi everyone, it's Ali and thanks again for joining me on the Heffy Doodle YouTube channel. Very exciting times. The pre-order has opened for the new release of Heffy Doodle stamps on the Heffy Doodle shop. So please head over there and have a look. They're amazing. It's a fantastic release. And I'm going to use some of them today to do this underwater rays effect. And the fantastic news is that if you do make a pre-order before the 1st of June, you're going to get this exclusive Celebrate stamp set for free with your order of any of the new release. And also some exciting news, if you spend over £45, then you're going to get the dies as well. So that's amazing. This is one of the other sets I'm going to use today, the Oceans of Love, which is one of the new release stamp sets too, and it's just gorgeous. So head over to Heffy Doodle and have a look and definitely get your hands on that great little Celebrate stamp set. It's so cute, and that, as I said, comes with the pre-orders. And details will be in the description box below as well. So I'm not going to show you all of my colouring of the images today because I really wanted to focus on the background technique. So I've just coloured them in and die cut them out with the corresponding dies that you can get. And now I'm going to do the background. So I'm going to use a small background piece for each one. And I've coloured 3 of these up in the same way. So I'm just going to use peacock feathers and mermaid lagoon there to get some ink down on that card. And just not being too worried about it, because once you've done the sun rays over the top, it helps the colours blend anyway. And then just bring in the mermaid lagoon there as well. And then the first way that I'm going to do the sun rays is to use a stencil. So I'm going to use a Honeybee Stamps stencil, which there's about 2 different sun rays in this set. But you could also use the sunray stencil. I think there's one from MFT, My Favourite Things. And then I'm going to use a white pigment ink to go through the stencil onto the paper and create those light sun rays. So just bringing that down, and I sort of pull it down so that it makes some, a bit of an effect coming downwards. And there you go. It's quite, the edges are quite sharp, so I just decided to go over with my sponge and just merge them in a little bit as well. Just with what was left on my sponge. And I also decided to go in with the other colours too, a little bit over the top, again just using the ink that was left on the sponge and blending in those sun rays a little bit more. So that's the first. Oh, and then I decided I wanted a little bit more of a lighter section on the top because, of course, the sun always comes through a little bit more at the top of the water. So I just went in with the slightly thicker sunray stencil, or the bottom of the sunray stencil, that's right, and then blended it again with my sponge down the bottom. So you get a really nice effect this way, and I was really happy with that. So that's the first way of getting that underwater sunray look. Second way is again to do the same sort of thing. Use a stencil, but grab a wet baby wipe and press that through the stencil so that it removes some of the ink and makes it lighter in that ray section. So that's quite easy and simple to do, and I used a thinner sunray stencil as well there. So that's the second look, and it will lighten up a bit as it dries. The third way now is to use just simple masking if you don't have a stencil. And so I'm going to just cover my piece of card in some white pigment ink first. This just makes it easier to blend the colours on top later. And then I'm just going to use a bit of Salty Ocean just to get a light blue background to begin with, to layer my colour over. So then I just grabbed a piece of scrap paper and used it for the edges of my sun rays, basically. And a bit of scrap paper off to the side, and then ink up and just gently sort of rub that on, not too heavy-handed. And then just need to turn your paper around for the other side of the sun ray, because you want the edges to be a little bit darker and the white sort of V of sunlight coming down the middle. So that's basically how I did this technique. I just went along with my mask and turned the paper up and around and did the sun rays that way by layering up the ink. And I just continued with that the same way with all the different colours of ink until I was happy with how that looked. And they're pretty much all done. Just finishing up with some darker colour there. So these 3 ways are all equally effective, and you might like one over the other, so I hope you give it a go and let me know which one worked best for you and which one you like the most. And then I need to go up with a little bit of darker colour down the bottom because of course the sunlight doesn't reach all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. So I just darkened the bottom a little bit. Okay, so now it is time. Oh, I then splattered them with a bit of water from the sprayer tube of my water bottle, which I forgot to show on video, so just letting you know that I did that. And now it's time to construct the card. So I just grabbed my ocean animals and attach them on to the card fronts. And then I just grabbed some strips of black card and I stamped out sentiments from both sets as well. And with the little Celebrate stamp set, I just wanted to use that stamp and have a little black sentiment with the stamp together on the front of that card. So I just used my Misty there to line up that stamp, and I stamped it in VersaFine ink just lightly and just once because that was enough to give a really good impression. So there we go. There's the one using that really fantastic Celebrate stamp set. Hope you get your hands on one of those because they're very cute and very exclusive. And that's the 3 techniques. So here they are up close, and I added a couple of Pretty Pink Posh water droplets as well on there on the front of each card. So go over and have a look at the new release. Here's some other videos from Heffy Doodle. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.